Town Hall with Vivian is where I get to bring you comprehensive review of major issues making rounds in Nigeria, Africa, and the world at large. Town Hall with Vivian is majorly where we get to ask real questions to those in the corridors of power or those holding on to power. We get to hold them accountable regarding the offices they represent, regarding their campaign promises. And again, I get to also have experts, opinion leaders who join me from time to time where we dissect issues like humanitarian, real-life issues, all for the benefit of the people. Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on the time wherever in the world you are joining me from. My name is Vivian Daniel, or you can as well call me #The Moralist. And now I'd like to welcome you specially to my YouTube channel on Town Hall with Vivian show, brought to you by Iron Media. On Town Hall with Vivian, we've got two major hashtags in case you want to contribute or send in your comment or suggestion, whatsoever it is. Just make sure you are using that hashtag. There are two of them, hashtag Town Hall with Vivian and hashtag Real Questions. Okay, so now I've got to crave your indulgence. Please do well to follow me on my social media handles now being displayed on your screen. And again, please do hit on the subscription and follow button as well. And let us form a beautiful, big community that is ready to build their nation. Because I believe Town Hall with Vivian is where we get to build our nation one way or another, where we also get to talk about the much needed change you and I have been yearning about and how to go about it. And one thing I always say, one little act of kindness positions you as a nation builder. It doesn't stop there. One other non-significant act, if you get to do them, it positions you as a nation builder, is when you find yourself on a traffic light, park your car, wait until that traffic light shows green. That way, you are already positioning yourself to be a nation builder. Okay, moving on. Now, on today's Town Hall with Vivian, come on, somebody should, be happy because I've got something amazing coming your way. All right. Now, it is a known fact all over the world and majorly in Nigeria that the idea of state police has been a topic concerning Nigeria. It has been a debated topic that almost everyone want to talk about, want to hear what is the next person saying. Some proponents of this particular issue have argued that it would change, the security architecture of Nigeria one way or another. It will bring effectiveness or what have you. While major critics are of the opinion that if you allow state police, it would enter into the hands of the state governors who would naturally begin to commit havoc with the state policing agenda. Which way are you? Which of them are you? Are you against it or for it? Now, it may also interest you to know that some of the best practices from other countries include, but not limited to, community policing, decentralized decision-making, and many more. Something like, accountability. And then why do we want to box ourselves in Nigeria saying state policing is this or that? We should not embrace it yet. Ladies and gentlemen, this major issue brings us to three main questions that will lead to today's Town Hall with Vivian discussion. And the questions, which I call hashtag real questions, are: do you or do you not believe that the state police is an idea whose time has come amid the worsening insecurity challenges in the nation, Nigeria, with a trial to state police. Do you think it will convince you and I, or it will confuse us? And the reason why I'm saying now these real questions is for you to send in your comments. So it's not just for me and my guest on Town Hall with Vivian. I'd like to hear from you because your one kobo, your 1 cent, it matters. It will go a long way. So the next question is, what do you think are the best ways to contain the excessiveness of state governors if they intend or if they eventually begin to utilize state policing in the negative way? I mean, what do you think is the best way to contain them? And now, these issues brings me to the major discussion focus on Town Hall with Vivian. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone. I've got an amazing guest. But before I introduce him, you must know that we are looking at specifically X-raying insecurity issues in Nigeria. State police to be or not, and why. And now, let me turn to my guest. Because I am being joined by a thorough gentleman. I must call him that, a thorough gentleman. When you hear that word gentleman, this is him personified. His name is Mr. Olusesan Osoba. He is a retired senior police officer, Toronto. And he is also a criminal investigator, security coach, and expert with about 17 to 18 years of experience. Aren't we happy to hear from such a man provide solution about state police and about insecurity in Nigeria? Of course, I am happy. So, how are you, sir? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I'm very well.
Are you sure you're happy? Because I am happy having you join me on Town Hall with Vivian. Are you happy?
I'm happy.
Being the man that's going to provide solution one way or another to our beautiful nation.
Hopefully.
Absolutely.
Hopefully.
So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
All right, sir. So without further ado, I'd like to hit straight to ask you, why did you choose to be a police officer, sir? You would have chosen to be a doctor, a marine engineer, or, some of those bigger, professions where people say, that is where the dollars, because somehow I feel some people feel there's no money in being a police officer and all of that. But then what was the motivation for you? And then you hinge it also telling us your experiences in Toronto. Okay. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. My experience is, I left Nigeria based on I guess, I don't know if I was the first or second batch of the Japa syndrome. But I left Nigeria in the 2000.
I see.
2000.
Year 2000.
Yes. I had applied for the landed immigration thing to Canada.
I see.
But at the time, the Canadian government didn't have an embassy in Nigeria. So I think because of all the political instability, the Canadian government moved to Accra, Ghana.
I see.
So I decided to, because I had siblings in England, so I decided to apply to the High Commission in England.
Okay.
Because of correspondence, I thought it would be easier that way.
Mm-hmm.
So, I did that, and then unfortunately, I just applied. I'm going to Toronto.
I see.
So the question arose that, they needed to have an interview with me, and the interview was, the interviewer, I remember, was an Asian female, and she asked me, what's the population of Toronto? So what do you know about Toronto?
A place that you haven't gone before.
All I said, and I felt bad. I felt stupid for the first time because I just thought it was a plain straightforward. And they told me to write the settlement plan.
Yeah.
So which I did, 17 pages. And then my whole settlement plan came back to GTA, Mississauga, is a Greater Toronto area. It's just one of the suburbs of Toronto. So long story short, I got into Canada March 14, 2001. And experience in Canada was not what it was advertised or said it was,
Okay.
as regards to getting a job and all that stuff.
Okay.
You know, and it's an old experience with everybody that ever come to Canada. They all have to go through the so-called Canadian experience. The Asians went through it, the Italians go through it, and it does not make sense just because you have to pay the price of suffering for a while.
What's the experience like?
You just have to do anything to survive. You know, you have to be a laborer. I was a laborer.
But this case, you had applied for a job.
No.
Okay.
You just apply as an immigrant.
Oh, you just applied for the JAPA thing.
The JAPA thing.
Yeah, because you were tired of your beautiful country.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. But before, let me cut you short there. I hope you don't mind.
No.
Before you began to nurse the feeling of going to Toronto, going to Canada.
Yeah.
What did you read, sir?
When the university, I read applied chemistry.
Okay. I almost thought maybe from birth, you just desire to serve your nation or to be a police officer. No. If it wasn't working in Nigeria, you would want to embrace it in another country.
Yeah. Well, I had worked here, you know, I mean, I'd worked with a company, Churchgate, Nigerian, chemical dyes and something in Abara, Lagos. And then from there, we joined the Nigerian German Chemicals.
Okay.
Then for some reason, I lost my job. And then, you know, it wasn't just working the way I thought it would work, you know, because before then I had been in a bank.
Do you know why I'm smiling?
Yeah.
I wanted to say, actually, for you to be forgetting the name of the organization, it may not have been a beautiful, all around, 100%.
I remember in Century Dyes and Chemicals.
Okay.
It's a division of Churchgate.
How was the experience there for you?
It was because I was transitioning, because my father, you know, I mean, most old people, older generation, believe that, you know, if you go to school to study something, that's what you should be working at. You know, but because I had started working in the bank.
In the olden days, yes, that's right.
I was doing okay in the bank, you know, but I had to now go back into a company that was just being set up in the bush somewhere very far away from Festac, and then always near Badagry, and you know, I'm going there every day.
I see.
Yeah, it wasn't fun, but
I see.
You know, it's just what I went through.
I guess
part
that.
Of the process.
Okay, fine. So now you made your way to Canada.
Yeah.
So fine. You had to go through the Canadian kind of experience, like you tried to say earlier. Before I cut you, how do I before I cut you short in righteousness?
Yes. Canadian experience is just, there's nothing to, just a catchphrase to, I guess, maybe discourage people from coming in or not.
Yeah.
But it's the price most people pay.
I see.
You know, and I mean, it's rough.
Okay.
It's rough for you, especially with Nigerians that were so, you know, I'm trying not to use the word egocentric, or we're very proud people.
No, we are.
We're very proud.
No, I think it's in order for you to say egocentric. A lot of Nigerians are. That's true. Yeah. That's the truth. No matter how you want to look at it. So
we're very proud, and then you are forced to, you know, be, you know, jobs that there was not even in the university.
Yeah, and then some people also just put that on themselves, because they want to japa, because they want to leave their country. Yeah, like in your own case.
A lot of times, this decision are formed on fact and not on inaccuracy or lies or false.
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
This is not based on the fact that you're looking, I mean, for instance, if you look at the snow on the TV, you know, Father Chris, I mean, this is really nice. But if you have to be inside it,
you know, you'll get to experience it. You know, that's right. That's right.
It looks good on paper, but in reality, it's not.
Okay.
It's very tough. It's very tough.
But praise God, you navigated through.
Yeah.
And then you found yourself in Toronto Police.
Yeah.
As a senior officer. As a senior police officer.
Over time. It's something you get over time.
Oh, obviously. For 17 years, it's not a joke.
Policing itself in North America is most jobs. No, let me just a little bit, and I'll go back to most jobs.
No, you can stay here.
Yeah.
We are now, in fact, you are. Just go on to tell us your experience.
Okay, yeah.
While as a police officer,
most jobs I find in North America, you don't need university degree.
I see.
You know, even high-paying jobs, you don't need. And that's why some people think university education is don't let me use the word people use.
Are you saying this for outside the country?
Everywhere, most jobs that people do don't need university degree to do them.
Really?
I don't think they
Mention
do.
one or two, like police.
Most IT guys, who are here. I'm sure these guys didn't go to university to learn this.
No, some of them are.
No, they just probably learn over time or go through a trade school or something. That's where the future really is. That's anyway. Let's go back.
Okay, let's go back. I don't
want to go back to
no. The thing
that's
is
a debate for another day.
Okay, fine. Of course, we're going to have series.
Yes.
So we'll debate that. But let me fine tune that aspect, right? Yeah. The truth is, yes, some people may have ended up as just calling it a trade or something they love, and they just sat somewhere. Yeah. But within a time frame, they desired. They have come to love it. Some of them have gone to university. Some of them have gone through their masters in the same. I'm telling you the truth, sir. Okay, now moving on. Okay. That's the truth. That's the truth. A couple of persons.
If it was so good that education is what it should be, Nigeria should not be where it is. We're one of the
I get that. I knew my spirit is telling me that that's where the conversation may want to go to. But you cannot even overemphasize the importance of education.
Education is important.
It is paramount.
But it doesn't have to be what we call education.
I agree, sir.
Because,
I agree.
I think I've shared this with you before. I've been taught that the 21st century illiterate is not someone who cannot just read or write.
That's right.
Who is not willing to learn.
That's right.
And learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Who is not willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
So education is forever is going on. It's not a one-time thing.
That's right. Absolutely.
Always educating yourself, always getting.
That's right.
It's like the phone, for instance, the TV.
That's
manual.
Right. That's right.
How many times have we read it?
That's right. Okay, fine. So let's come back now. Tell me 2 major experiences that you love so much, you cherish so much, during your time as a senior police officer in Toronto.
Yeah,
your basic achievements. Yeah, 2 of them.
I will be quick about it. And one of those was, of course, a year or 2 on the job. I think 2 on the job, and there was I was reporting to duty that morning. It was morning shift, and the night shift guys had dealt with an armed robbery at the gas station, petrol station, and it was a gun robbery kind of a situation. And so usually you have, when there's a crime scene, you cut it off. You have the police tape, and you have a police guard to protect the scene, right? While the investigation is going on. So one of those times is I was relieving an officer because I'm morning shift. The guys nights need to go home. So I went to relieve an officer at the crime scene as a guard. So I parked, just waited, it's always a boring thing, and so the investigating officer from a unit called the Hold Up, like most crime gets assigned to units, like serious crimes, like armed robbery and, sex crimes. And the crime Hold Up guy came about, the Hold Up squad detective came around and identified himself, explained, that he's a Hold Up. I said, okay, and said he wants to try and review the surveillance caption of the incident. And I told him I would like to come along. I want to see it too. So while we're reviewing it, observe a male white, maybe early 20s, brandishes a gun at the counter of like an Indian man.
Yeah.
And then, but one of the things you have to learn as an officer is observation.
I see.
You have to pay attention.
You observe your environment.
Yes. And then it was to see a gun. You try to make what kind of gun that is. And then I saw a tattoo on his forehand, and stopped the video. Kind of took picture. To see what the tattoo looked like. Then the outside camera caught a partial plate, not the whole plate, marker, So I got a few information. So the investigation left. So I was there,
studying what you saw.
So I now started doing we have a mobile workstation, MWS. I just started plugging away, information I have, partial wild searches. I was able to narrow it down to make of a car, and the car has been involved with police.
Wow.
In one way or other, somebody got a ticket or something.
Within a short time.
Yeah, if you know what you're looking for, you start getting all this together. I was able to identify that one of those interactions with police was a male in the car, boyfriend to the girl who owns the car. Did some search on this guy. He has a Ricky, which means police has a mugshot. He's been arrested by police before. So I did more search in this photograph. When you do photograph, they take all those things.
Sure.
Police capture all those things. So I look at the tattoo. It matched the one I saw in the surveillance. So I got the name and the suspect. In my time there. So when I got back to the station, I just walked up to the detective, told him everything I did, how I did it, where I got, because again, when you're going to court, it's what you can prove. It's not so much about, I see and that's,
It's what
you prove.
It's the proof.
You still have the process.
You have,
and then to make sure this is the suspect, and that was, and he was arrested. So I get commendation. The second experience was, it was more of, this time was a bit of a experienced officer. So one of the things, there was a robbery going on, and this guy was hitting gas station. One gas and another gas station.
Robbing them.
Yes, we're robbing.
Interesting.
So because of my experience, I know that people don't call police immediately. So there's some time in that. Usually call the owner of the station or call other people, and then they now call police. So while police are attending to one, another one is happening again. We're getting another call. As robberies, police rushing one place.
Wow.
So because of experience, I've learned, not to always rush light and sign all the time. Because when you're rushing light and signing, you'll be tunnel vision. Especially when speeding, speed makes your vision goes narrow. But if you intentionally slow down, control your breathing, like I do these days too, breathing around, and then let oxygen enter your brain, and then you now think properly, okay, where is it going? To identify where it's going. On that day, I was a solo officer. I was, like I explained, the scene of crime officer. So I was just doing solo police job, basically not high priority radio calls. Basically, maybe break and enter that's happened overnight, and it's just in a report. So I go to take document, leave fingerprints, and then send all that. So I just was listening to the radio call. I was following, the gas. So I looked at the map of the area. I said, okay, hitting this gas. So he must be coming my way, at this time. So as I got into that area, the radio call just said he was hit a liquor store. They call it SCBO in Canada or in Toronto. LCBO. And usually when there's a robbery, we don't go light and siren for hostage situation. You don't want to spook them. You want them to get away from,
Did you say that?
Yes.
You don't go with siren?
We don't go light and siren to robbery, hostage situation. Because it can become a hostage situation.
Interesting.
So
you're mentioning certain practices that is done over there that we haven't seen here. Let's just keep it there.
We don't
Please
know.
continue.
We don't know here.
In another 1 minute.
So I drove there. As I got there, the car he was using, all the information was there. It was parked, but the guys in the LCBO, the liquor store, had locked themselves in. So I could only see them. So they kept pointing. And this area where he was like a strip mall. So it's like a lot of malls in a big compound, so a lot of shops in a big compound, So they just pointed that way. So I looked over, I saw the guy was jumping over the wall.
I see.
Back to the road.
I see.
So I turned around. So he crossed the street and crossed into a cul-de-sac. A cul-de-sac is like a small road, like a crescent.
Okay.
That you can go on a crescent back to the roadway.
I see.
It's called a cul-de-sac.
I see.
So he ran into
So what's there?
Unfortunately for me, there was a car parked there. So he was trying to carjack that car. So the owner of the car was an old man who also, thank God for him, came out of the car. No, not in the sense that he posture for a fist fight. And this guy had a knife. So, but the advantage I had was that his back was to the road. So I just, moved in and just hit the car, just separated him from the old man. And then, of course, we have what we call use of force model, Again, that's another story for another. Usually, when you say knife, you go gun. You see, no knife is other use of force.
Yet again, series.
Again, that's
a series.
No, that's
ladies
what I'm
and
saying.
gentlemen, it's a series we're going to be having.
Yeah, of course, I've tried to discuss this with so many people, but I don't know if they get it or not. But forget about it. But there's what you call the use of force.
We'll
model.
come back to it, sir.
This use of force model. The gun came out because he had a knife. Dropped the knife. Of course, usually the police challenge, which is police. Everybody knows. Trace witnesses for you as an officer in case you have to shoot. Anyway, police don't move. Drop the knife. The guy was trying to run. I guess his leg was maybe a bit injured. So he couldn't run. He turned around, dropped the knife, raised his hand up. At this point, I was waiting for the radio silence because everybody was just shouting on the radio and everything. But it was so at one point I kicked a key in the emergency button on the radio. Everybody went silent, and I said gunpoint arrest, location, everything. And then everybody was shouting on the radio again. Everybody was heading towards me. But that process before they got to me, it seemed like eternity. I mean, I'm sure maybe it's a minute or two, but it felt like a long time. So for some reason, if it was now, I would not have done what I did. I just decided, okay, now what? No, I'm just going to cough because at this point I was prone him on the floor. His hand was, so I just said, I'm just going to cough him. This is waiting too long.
Okay, wait.
So I dropped.
Let me understand something, sir. Please. I'm very sorry to cut you short in righteousness. So now you already have the crime. You have captured the crime scene, meaning you have captured the criminal.
Yes.
So why didn't you just go on to cuff him immediately? You were waiting.
No.
Those are the procedures?
Listen, you see, everything about policing is that if you have time on you, I get paid by hour anyway. So if you have time, you use the time. You don't have to put anybody in danger.
I see.
I call the backup, which is always the best thing to do. Always call it backup.
Always call it
backup.
Okay.
So which is what I should have waited because on the floor there's nobody in danger. I could have just waited behind it.
Okay. So you now round off the story.
Yeah, I just decided to just move on and just handcuff him. But unfortunately for me, as I put the one hand cuff on one hand, and I guess as his right hand, the guy started fighting.
Boom.
Now the problem now arises again, because the use of force mode, they had to kick it in, right? Because at this point, I have holstered my gun because the knife is down. I can't put it on gunpoint because the knife is down, So, but now, at the point now, I was afraid that I don't remember where the knife was. I don't have access to the knife. So I found myself begging this man. Because one of the things I didn't join the police was that I may have to kill somebody. That was my main thing. And on this day, it seemed as if it was going to happen. So I was now begging this guy.
Don't let me kill you.
Please don't let me
Don't let me shoot you.
Let me kill you. I was punching him as hard as I could. It was high. And so anyway, to cut a long story short, a passerby who was nice enough, who was not picking up his phone to record, jumped on him with me. And then I was able to put the other handcuff on. And just as that was done, all the other units just arrived.
They arrived. Awesome.
And, so I got documentation for those cases because it was easy in court. At the time we have a dash camera, it just made everything so those are my memorable ones. I have other ones, but those are the main ones.
And it looks like 17 years, obviously, you may have bagged like 10, 20 awards. Let's not go there anyway. But then now, remember we are talking about, ladies and gentlemen, it is X-raying insecurity in Nigeria. State police. To be or not, and why? So now, I want to bring to your knowledge something, sir, that someone highly respected in Nigeria said before we delve into state police. You would remember, a few months ago, someone, I call him very powerful man, right? He said something, and I quote, "Nigeria isn't ripe for state police. Merge NSCDC, FRSC with NPF." And that person is the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Kayode Ekbetokun, advocating the merger of the Nigerian security, and civil defense corps and federal road safety corps with the police for effectiveness, according to him. Ekbetokun said, "These are the National Dialogue on State Policing, organized by the House of Representatives with a team Pathways to Peace, Reimagining Policing in Nigeria. Now, he is saying he wants the merger of this other, security agencies with the Nigerian police force for effectiveness. And then if you go down on the story, it's just that I didn't put it here, but I can remember it vividly. He also mentioned the fact that they are having issues with manpower. Okay. And with that, he feels, yes, there is the need for a bigger measure for effectiveness. And he is vehemently kicking against state police. Now, my major issue here is that critics in Nigeria have also advocated the fact that they are kicking against state police. While many are proposing for a yes, right? Many also are saying they are kicking against it. Why? Because they feel state governors may want to utilize state policing to commit more havoc, to, do all manner. And don't let me spell it out. Okay. So my question to you is that, do you or do you not believe that state police in Nigeria should be, and why?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for the question, though.
Yes, sir.
Going back to the history of police in Nigeria, the police started from region. It didn't start as a Nigerian police. They have regional police, Lagos Constabulary or something like that. The Hausa something Constabulary. It was the 19th something. I think they all became one. So they came together as a unit. So, but the thing is, why I would say is that, at the time, was the local government or the region abusing the police? Were they doing that too at the time? Because where the concern is coming from, I don't know where the concern is coming from. It's more or less saying, even at the center, is that what the president is doing with politics? So it shouldn't be that, because the essence of police is, like I've said before, the police are the people and people are the police, according to the Sir Robert Peel, who is the more or less the godfather of police. Police are the people and people are the police. So that is where we should start from. So yes, I support an aspect of having a regional or state police. And then I also support the aspect of magnetizing of the police.
The other security agencies.
Well, they may leave the CDC alone, because the American have those special unit for those, I forgot what they're called.
Is it the one I mentioned, the Nigerian own?
Yeah, our civil defense.
Yeah,
America
civil defense.
America have an aspect of it, but they're not called the army. I think they call it I forgot what it's called now.
Okay.
But I understand the aspect of it. They can leave that. But what they need to do is work on the legislature, the lawmakers, to really sit down, crack something that really works for Nigeria.
I see.
Make something that really works for Nigeria.
In the aspect of policing.
Yeah, the aspect of policing.
You think our law, we have a challenge with the law?
Yes, we do have a challenge with the law. And the interpretation of the law, the police are very far behind when it comes to all that.
Mention one or two that you feel.
Just an aspect of understand what the law is. If you're standing by the side of the road and you're picking up somebody's phone and you have to inspect it, it's illegal.
I see.
The policeman on the road does not even know it's illegal.
I see. So these are the major approaches you're looking at. That has to be revisited.
The criminal code has to be reviewed every year, and then the police also have to be updated every year. Like in my case, you have to be abreast with the civil, some part of the civil law that has anything to do with law enforcement. And then obviously the case laws that has to do with policing. So there's an aspect of things that are missing there. So.
Okay, sir. So now, obviously, like I said from the beginning, we're going to have a series. So this is series 1.
Yes.
So but I'd like you to say something very, very direct. If you were to be the president of Nigeria today, what aspect of our security architecture or apparatus would you focus on? How would you want your reform to begin?
Reform, well, it has to be many approaches. I think one of the approach has to be obviously the issue of the law.
The issue of the law.
As the way it is, number
Okay.
one. So the National Assembly, you have to craft something that has to involve you reviewing all our law every year. It can't
Okay.
be an old law. It can't be law of 1990 something or 90 something. It has to be something that's ongoing because crime is always dynamic. The way we live is dynamic. Things that will not be crime years ago may be crime now. So things are always changing. So that's one aspect. The aspect. Then the aspect of the equipment training. I mean, one aspect of police that I think is really missing is the aspect of communication.
Okay.
I mean, it is. I honestly find it very strange that if so, it's an emergency, I have to be finding a number, 11-digit number, to be calling, and then it goes to a police officer in one station. So that is in service wrong.
Okay.
You should have a call center where, like in Toronto, for instance, I mean, and most part of the world, I think it is. They have a call center where all emergency calls come in, and these call takers will now dispatch, either send to a dispatch. For instance, a call taker comes, let's say here, for instance, in Abuja, there's a call person who received call. He's asking you need police, is it fire or ambulance? Once he says police, he sends you to...
Not the calls going directly to different numbers, we always receive them. Say if you're in Abuja, you call this number. If you're in Lagos, you call this number. No, there should be a central communication unit.
Yes.
So that's the aspect you would want your reform.
That's an aspect I need, because it used to be like that when I was younger in Nigeria. It used to be 999. That's police number.
That's right.
And that way it was.
That's right.
So I don't know what happened, and and for some reason they can't get it right again.
Okay, now. So how about if you are the IGP, talking about their welfare? Which aspect of the welfare would you want to touch? Just one. I know we're going to have another series, but this time around, regarding security, officers, their welfare.
Okay, it's very.
What would you say?
Christ. It's very important, extremely important. I can't overemphasize how important that is. You understand? I mean, for me, I'll give you my own example. I'm not saying Nigerian police, but Nigeria used to be like that when my father was young. Police get uniform from the police, whatever, where they get a uniform from. They get everything from there. Even the police put petrol. Police. But what they have now is absolutely ridiculous. Every year.
Our uniform has been changed. Come on, don't say it's ridiculous.
Police should
It's been changed. It's a butterfly color now. Yeah, it's beautiful color.
Yeah, it's baby blue. But an officer...
not black and black.
An officer...
Yeah.
should never be the one buying his own uniform.
I get that.
It should never. What's the point of a uniform when we have different shades of it?
The government sees to their uniform.
No, they do. Again, I don't know. Okay, I'm just saying what should be obtainable should be what it was then.
Okay, awesome.
They have uniforms given to them. For me in Toronto, I get 6 shirts every year and 4 cargo pants every year. And sometimes I get backed over all these garbage of things. You have to look forward to throw them away. And you get running shoe and snow boots every. It used to be every 2 years. I'm not sure if it's every year now.
Okay.
You get the running shoe.
So overall, from year to year, their uniform should be changed.
Yeah, and then the salary. I don't know. I mean, it should not be what.
It is.
It is. If you look at, if you Google my name, I mean, I'm on the sunshine list, and sunshine list in Canada is people who make over certain amount of money. Not everybody's on, but because I'm a police officer,
I see.
You find yourself always on. It's public record.
I see. I see.
So the police should be well paid.
I see. They should be well paid.
And also, I mean, it's not everybody that a police in Nigeria should be police.
Okay, awesome. Taken. I'd like you to give a word to our president. He's clocked 1 year.
Yeah.
What one word that you want to tell him about the security of Nigeria?
Yeah,
what one word would you say to him?
I would say congratulations for making 1 year. I know it's uneasy lies the head that wears the crown. But one word I would say to him is that he should, as soon as possible, institutionalize or put a task force. Maybe I don't know if it's the House of Assembly that put a task force on these security matters, or something, we need to come up with something, especially when it comes with this kidnapping, which is becoming too rampant. That should be almost a national crisis. It should be something that we're all dealing with. It should be something the governors, and this is where the state police may come to pay, because each governor will be able to address some of these things directly. Each state will be able to direct, and when they need help, they'll call for the federal help. You understand? So if I'm to ask, I know policing itself, like I believe, and like it's done, it's not something that the president should be involved in. It's not. It should be independent. It's an independent agency. It's not somebody police should be saying, "Go do this, do this." It shouldn't be like that.
I see.
Again, that's the reason why the police cannot be a force.
I see.
It's not. That's why the constitution needs to change in Nigeria, because it's seen as a force.
Okay, now before I let you go, I know when you joined the police force there in Toronto, or when you jackpot, when you left the country, I would not put a year how old you were, but I know we have younger generation, young Nigerians. What would be your advice? Who would want to probably pursue a career in policing?
In Canada?
No, here in Nigeria. Come on, sir. The truth is that, let me just chip in this. I have met a young lady, pretty lady, that said she wants to serve the nation. To someone like that, what would be your advice to her and to all the Nigerians who may nursing, they may be nursing that feeling that they want to serve their country, wherever they are?
Maybe somebody else would say, we encourage her. Not under normal circumstances, I might say, it's a good, noble profession. But knowing what I know now, and I would say no, because they're so, it's not, they don't know what is right in the first place. So most of them, either they don't know what is right, they don't even know how to do what is right. There's so much that we have to do first.
So you are saying that there has to be an overhauling of the Nigerian police force, of the security, in Nigeria, the security architecture needs to be overhauled.
We need to overhaul. When it comes to that, maybe we should go back.
There's a whole lot of revamping.
Like IG was saying, maybe to go back the way it was. The state police. Maybe let's try and get it right from there.
Okay.
Let's go back to the basics. See if we can get it right.
You think
as it is now, it's not working for anybody.
Okay. So you think?
I have so many experiences I've seen here. That doesn't make sense to me. Somebody gets killed and everybody walks away as if nothing happens. There's so many that's wrong. So you can't build from the air. You have to go back to the foundation. And
you think the foundation is state policing?
No, the foundation is really bad.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Or maybe the foundation was okay initially, but somehow it got destroyed.
So we need to go check it.
Rebuild it.
Right from the community, policing.
Well, that's what policing should be. It should be a representative of people, because like I have said, an effective police is not the one that has a lot of arrests.
I see.
According to what it is, it is a lack of crime.
Okay, let me cut you there in righteousness again. Yeah. Thank you so much. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have series 1, 3, 4, and 5. So now, my final thought would be, first and foremost, thank you, Mr. Olusesan Osoba.
Thank you.
Senior retired police officer, Toronto, criminal investigator, security coach, and expert for over 17 years. Thank you for gracing Town Hall with Vivian. Thank you for profiling the fact that for Nigeria to get it right in our insecurity matters, we need to go back to the basics. Yes. Thank you, sir. We appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. And my audience do as well. That's why I said we appreciate you. Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll see on the other more series.
Sure. On series 2. So ladies and gentlemen, watch out for series 2. Believe me.
Thank you.
A lot more he said to me, or he's ready to dish out. He hasn't even started. He hasn't even said a whole lot of them. So please watch out and stay glued on this channel. Stay glued on my channel and don't go nowhere. Thank you so much again and again. And I must say also, look, we must start with piloting programs, no matter how little they are, and then expanding them. Insecurity in Nigeria, I believe, is going to be a thing of the past.
Mm.
One way or another, in our time, Nigeria will be great again. And we're looking forward that you and I will be the engine room that would make it happen. Thank you again for staying tuned on Town Hall with Vivian.
Thank you.
For today. I appreciate you all. Until next time, bye-bye for now. And please don't forget to hit the subscription button and the follow button to stay glued with me. And that way also you are notified whenever I come online. God bless you. One love.